He's still on fire. Tyrese Maxey can't miss.
Call the fire department.
Call the fire department. It's late, but they can still come out and try to put those flames out because that man was hot. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers post-game show following a 54-point career-high explosion by Tyrese Maxey. We're presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Kyle, Devon, Bree, all of you in the chat. She's the best. She's the president of basketball operations. We're coming to you live from the Xfinity Lounge to talk about, with all of you, Kyle, this fantastic performance from Tyrese Maxey tonight, setting a new career high, 54 points on 18 for 30 shooting, 6 for 15 from 3, getting to the free throw line 14 times, making 12 of those, and some big free throws made there in overtime to seal the win before he added on and tacked on to the career high 54. But he had some big ones there where you and Bree and I, we were talking and we were like, I don't know. Maybe this is a split. But listen, he was fantastic tonight, helping to carry this team to this victory.
Devon, there were so many moments in that game where you just felt they're going to lose this game. They're going to lose this game because they don't have enough help for Tyrese Maxey. Whenever he came off the floor, as has been the case for most of this year, quite frankly, you were just looking around like, oh my God, they're going to be down by 10 or 15 points by the time he's back in this game. And even when he's in the game, when they needed to buy him possessions where he's off the ball, he's in the corner against the zone, where he gets to collect himself, he's got the hands on the knees for 10 seconds of the game at any given time. Although, frankly, he looked quite fresh after that game.
Yes, he did.
Everything considered. But the thing I kept coming back to, Devon, is that this is the sort of game that a superstar plays. This is not like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, there are a lot of guys who can score 40 points. They're a smaller group, but a pretty big group of guys who could probably get 50 if all they did was set their mind on, I'm putting up every shot, and they had the opportunity to do so. To me, the most impressive thing about that performance and that game is that it felt so natural. It felt like every time there was all right, Paul George is going to get some touches. VJ is going to get some touches. Jared McCain's going to get some shots against the zone. Justin Edwards is open, you find him. Quentin Grimes is open, you find him. And it was not just the Tyrese Maxey show. He obviously was the star, and he's the guy out front, but he allowed the game to come to him to a certain extent. And that's why, as you get into final 5 minutes of the game, overtime, just fourth quarter in general and onward, he still had something left to give them. This was not just 100 miles an hour from the start of the game. In fact, he said on the broadcast right after the game ended, he said part of what got him going was Paul George scores 11 straight points to start the game, and he's looking at him like, hey, if Paul's looking like this, man, I got to come correct tonight. So I think you see this when guys are making that next leap, the final leap to like promising young player, then that guy maybe is a fringe all-star, low-level all-star, to someone who can potentially carry a winning team. This is what those type of games look like, where the chips are down, everybody is on a rest disadvantage because you're on a back-to-back and third game in 4 nights. Justin Edwards is shooting the ball like he's never shot it before. Quentin Grimes, I think, started 2 for 7 from 3, isn't hitting anything. VJ Edgecombe is smoking open layups. Andre Drummond has 5 fouls in the third quarter, fouls out of the game. So they're playing small ball with Jabari Walker and Dominick Barlow. Paul George is on a minute restriction, which
plays the last 7 seconds of regulation.
There are all these things that happen that are just like, this was going wrong. This is wrong. This sucks. Why is Nick Nurse playing this guy? Why isn't this guy better at this certain thing? And it just didn't matter because Tyrese Maxey would not allow them to lose that game. Every single time Milwaukee felt like they could go on a game-winning run, he popped up 5 points, 7 points, assist, push the pace in transition. And you know what spoke the most to me, Devon, about that game and kind of where he is in the hierarchy of this team? We talked about it during overtime. They get an early stop. And this guy is 42 plus minutes into the game. I tweeted out, he's got to play 46 minutes on a back-to-back just to have a chance to win this game. and carrying the offense. After they get a stop, he is screaming at these other guys who are not doing as much heavy lifting, saying, get up the damn floor. We got to run. We have to attack now. We have our advantage now. Don't allow them to go back and sit in that zone. Don't allow them to get set up in their half-court offense. Push the pace. We will get a good shot, and we will score. That's exactly what happened. He's someone who has total control of this team right now. Obviously, it's not saying a whole lot to say that's his most impressive performance of his career, because it is literally his career high with 54 points. But there are so many little things and moments that happened during that game that jump out at me as like, that's what the guy looks like. I could not speak highly enough of that game from Tyrese.
Now, this is one when we talked about him a lot, of wondering, could he be the guy? Could he be the one to carry the team? Because of what we saw last season. We've seen minutes of him doing that. We've seen games where we've seen him carry. We've seen him carry for a week. And you can see it right there, but it never really comes through the way you want it to. But this season, he has certainly done that. Folks, after 15 games, they're 9-6. He is the second leading scorer in the NBA because he puts up 32, 33 points a night. Tonight, on the second night of a back-to-back, when they need him, as Kyle talked about it, Paul George gets things started with the first 11, and you're wondering, all right, he's going to be out there. He's getting the help Tyrese Maxey is, but when Paul George goes to the bench after his 5-minute stint, Maxey's probably going to be the one to pick it up. But what's it going to look like? He matches it and even tops him with 12 at the end of the first quarter when they're up 13 because he turns it up, dials it up even a little bit more there. And when the Sixers started to give it up again, they give up the lead once again, it was when Tyrese Maxey was on the bench again. It's the Joel Embiid factor all over again.
It looks exactly the same.
100%. And he did exactly what Joel Embiid has done in the past. He puts them on his shoulders and he brings them back and leads them to victory. So when we've had all these questions, and he's going to have nights where he has a 24-point night, he's 8 for 27 from the field, and he has a high assist number maybe, and he gets the rebounds, maybe some steals and all that stuff, gets to the free throw line, knocks down a big number of threes. He's going to have those nights. But what he is doing now is he is giving us the answer that we've been looking for. Kyle, we are in that third part of the 5 games that you mentioned, where it's 5, 5, and 5, and they're 15 through. And he has consistently sustained the level of play that we were wondering if he could do for an entire season. This is a total different outlook of what it was a year ago when the first 15, he was not good.
No, he started off slow, and the whole team started off slow because of that.
This first 15, they are 9-6.
And because of 100 other reasons, but also because he
didn't
have
more
it
talent
going
out there and all that stuff. But they are 9-6 because he has allowed them to be 9-6. Yes, the 100 other things that has happened to start the season, getting that help from these other players. It was great to have Paul George out there, which we'll talk about it extensively later on in the show. But he is now answering the bell of who he is as a player in this league. He is solely in this conversation of he's an all-NBA player to date. We know he's an all-star to date. He's already done that. Now he's pretty much, if he keeps this going, there's no way he's not that this season. He will now carry this team as an all-NBA player, which would be his first nod. And can he carry them to the postseason? So the minutes are going to continue to pile up, and Kyle is absolutely right. This is just way too many minutes. They're lucky they have these 2 days off, and which is why he was able to continue to play. Nick Nurse saying, you stay out there because you have to play. But he's answering the questions that we have had. Is it sustainable? It looks like it. He still has to do it, but it does look like it right now. 67 games to go. It looks like this is who he is. He is year 6 in, and this guy looks like he is absolutely the player that we were wondering if he could be. We weren't sure. Now we're getting that answer. And tonight, I mean, just play after play. He's getting there for big rebounds when Andre Drummond is in foul trouble. He has to sky in there for some rebounds. He's hitting movement threes against 2 defenders in front of the Bucks bench off of broken plays that Justin Edwards has to find him because Justin Edwards can't get the shot off. He has to get Tyrese Maxey the ball. He hits that. He does have a bad turnover late, but he comes back and he makes up for it. And that's what you want, to your point, out of your superstar, out of your franchise face of the face of the franchise. And that's what he's given this basketball team so far through these 15 games. This was a fantastic performance that I think we'll remember for quite a long time. We can pretty much spell out the Joel Embiid performances as we've seen them, where it's like, oh, remember this 45-12 night against the Clippers in LA? Fantastic night. 70 against Wembanyama. The 50 against the, the 70 against Wembanyama. The 50 against the Utah Jazz, where he was tremendous on that Sunday as well. We can point out all of those Joel Embiid games. And now Tyrese Maxey hitting his 4th career 50-plus point game. And he did so tonight on the second night of a back-to-back on the road against a team that got it going, and the Sixers couldn't stop them. They put up a zone against the Sixers to try to slow him down and force others to beat them. He beat them with logo threes, drives to the basket.
The step-back logo three was crazy.
Free
to get
throws,
to 40.
big defensive plays where he's helping out, digging in, getting his hand in there as well, and still look like he could play another 5 minutes. I don't know if he could play another game. He's saying that. He could probably play another 5 of overtime.
Tyrese, I love the bravado, but please, I'm going to give you the Andre Drummond to VJ Edgecombe advice. Stay in bed tomorrow for a long time. Get your lift in or get your recovery in, whatever you need to do.
Yes.
Please get some rest tomorrow.
He could probably play another 5 minutes. Yes, he could probably do that for an overtime session. Will they pull the win out? I don't know. But they got this one tonight because he was fantastic against this basketball team with the career-high 54 points. Our player of the game, as Bree posts the image right there of Tyrese Maxey. Just tremendous. And you know what, too? One more.
He had 3 steals and 3 blocks on top of all this, right? You brought up the rebounding. You brought up the 9 assists. The defensive playmaking. Like, I think that the conditioning alone in this performance is so impressive because he's got the high usage. He's facing doubles and traps. They play the zone to get the ball out of his hands. They throw different things at him. He gets hammered at the rim. Shot 14 free throws tonight. 2 to 4 of them are at the end when you're playing the foul game, and so you take a little bit away there. But to get double-digit free throws on the second night of a back-to-back, you are taking it to the other team. You are not settling for, yes, he made some insane runners tonight. There was a couple, or at least one I said to you, Devon, like, how the hell did he make that shot? The one it's like 14 feet out over somebody, and he hits it without, you're not using the backboard. That's just straight at the rim. That's one of the most difficult shots in basketball. Yeah. I don't know how he has mastered or gotten so good, at least, at those types of shots. But like, you could just look at different pieces of the game, different quarters of the game, and find a new thing to obsess over from that performance. What I ultimately come back to is that's a guy who has taken the mantle as the leader of this team and has taken that responsibility very seriously. If he is able to sustain this, obviously not 54-point masterclass performance, right? He'd be the greatest basketball player of all time. But these stretches that we're seeing, the 5-game stretches, the 15-game stretch to open the year, if he sustains this, what it's going to underline is the conversations we used to have about Joel Embiid, where we're like, get this guy some damn help, right? You can't be over-relying on rookies and Jared McCain coming back from a meniscus and 2 guys making $100 million who are in and out of the lineup every night and on minutes restrictions. He is good enough now to compete with anybody who's out there. He's putting up these numbers every single night. After tonight, he is averaging, I believe, over 33 points a game, Devon, through 15 games out of an 82-game season. That is insane. I know scoring is up in the NBA. Yeah. There's context that, like, yes, maybe it's a little inflated compared to the dead ball era in the early 2000s, but this is a genuine 30-plus point per game scorer. He has made another leap. It makes you think, like, man, maybe next summer he'll get even better again. You can't put a ceiling on him. It's every single year he comes back better, except for last year. And last year you look back and you say, that was just doomed from the start for everybody.
The new standard.
The new standard is damn right. Jeez.
Yeah, the new standard by Tyrese Maxey. Also doing this, looks like another guy that used to wear that black uniform back in the early 2000s, man. Not bad. Not bad.
Too bad. Hey, what are they? 2-1 in the black jerseys, I believe.
2-1. 2-1.
And 2 of those came in second half of back-to-back.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Maybe the aura of the throwback jerseys is is powering them to this nice start that they're on.
All right, let's take our first pause of the night. We come back. We do a little temperature check as well. And we got to talk about Paul George, everybody, because game number 2 got off to an 11-4 start against the Milwaukee Bucks. Also a tremendous night from Paul George. We'll talk about many others in this game. Sixers improved to 9-6 with an overtime win, 123-114 on the road against the Milwaukee Bucks. New career high for Tyrese Maxey. It's the new standard. We come back. We talk about the temperature check. Paul George right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. 54. Did you have that at Bet365? Whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. If you had 54 or you had over 50, you had to let us know so we can make that bet, put that ticket in at Bet365 as one of the 90 million users worldwide. Early payout offers in the NBA and the NHL. We got a Thursday night football going on right now as well, and you could have placed that wager. You can even live bet that as we speak with what's going on with Houston and Buffalo at the moment. Make sure you make that live bet. They have pioneered that live in-game betting at Bet365. Okay, you're saying, wait a minute, I'm not a member. I haven't signed up for Bet365. What's going on? Well, I got some breaking news for you. New customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up. Use code PHLY365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5, and you get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. And make sure you put that 50 in for Tyrese as well. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Chat, Devon, I have some bad news.
Bad news?
While Tyrese Maxey was scoring 54 points, Rich Hoffman wasn't able to see
it.
the end of the game. Because his setup is just horrible. He doesn't have a provider that allows him great access, the highest quality streaming, the highest quality sports options, because he's not rolling with Xfinity. If you call yourself a basketball fan, you have to have Xfinity. Rich, I'm sorry, you just can't be called a basketball fan anymore, buddy. Xfinity is the ultimate sports destination. You can find the best teams, favorite teams, best games, all in one place. And the way to watch is next level. It's the perfect fan flex. All the action right there in your living room. And Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. It's so clear, it feels like I'm in the arena. Too bad Rich isn't, I guess. Sometimes I've got 4 games going at once because why not? Next game day, make sure the big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
He should have come into the studio and watched
Hey, we got Xfinity here in the studio.
Absolutely.
It's working out pretty nicely.
Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers post-game show. Tyrese Maxey, 54. Sorry, Rich, missed it. And he didn't get a chance
Rich started making accusations at me first. So now I'm firing back. That's what happens.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Self-defense.
All right, let's get to the Ace Hardware Home Services temperature check, where somebody's heating up or a team is heating up or cooling off with our Ace Hardware temperature check. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Do we go with the 54? Do we go with the guy?
I mean, come on. Tyrese Maxey had flames coming out of his eyeballs in that game. So I think he certainly is the headline of temperature check. But we could also go
we can fit in that other guy,
Mr. PG, who he looked pretty damn good tonight, Devon.
He looked pretty good, man. He looked really good, and just under 25 minutes tonight out there. And again, he got off to that 11-point stretch where he scored the first 11 for the Sixers. And he had 11. Milwaukee had 4. Doc Rivers calls the timeout because they could not figure out how to get shots on their end and slow down Paul George on the other end. He looked fluid with the things that he was doing. He looked very good on the defensive end where he was moving his feet really well. We saw some defensive plays in the second half where he
really well timed help.
One really late in the game as well before he was taken out for the remainder of the fourth quarter, despite this last 7 seconds.
He did play the final defensive possession of regulation, which you pointed out. You're like, hey, he's got 7 seconds in him.
I got 7 seconds left, nurse. Put me back in.
Was that Bree that said that? One of you said it in the.
I said it.
Okay.
But
a lot going on. So
hey, we were locked in, and so was Paul George with that final 7 seconds to force that overtime. But no, he looked really good, 7 for 12, hit a couple of threes early on. He had some really good defensive plays, 4 for 7 from 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 3 assists. He had 2 steals, as we talk about his defensive activity. And he, again, I said just under 24 minutes and 42 seconds tonight for Paul George, his second game back. And look, we said he looked good. He just didn't make shots in game number 1. Tonight even, Kyle, he made a catch and shoot 3 where we were like, yeah, that's exactly what you didn't get a season ago. Maybe this is just the start of what's to come for Paul George as he gets his legs back underneath him. The minute restrictions start to go up a little bit more, and next thing you know, there are no restrictions. What a fantastic night from him as well. If not for the 54, as you said before we came in here, if not for that, he might have been the player of the game because of how well he played.
Yeah, on a normal night, it would be like, PG is back, and hey, what does that mean for the rest of the season and this team's ceiling, so on and so forth. Honestly, one of the most striking things early, Milwaukee must not have watched PG play in a while, like a lot of people, because he walked up into that first 3. They're in early offense, and he had made a tough contested layup on the first possession, got himself going. They come back down after, I believe, Milwaukee scored, and Milwaukee just kind of turned their backs on him, and Paul looked around like, cool. I got a walk-up 3. So he hits that. He hits another one. And then one of my favorite moments of the night that was not Tyrese Maxey-centric, but still somehow featured Tyrese Maxey. They get a stop, and Paul is up to 11 consecutive points for them to open the game. They cross half court, and Maxey is just looking as quickly as he can. He's like throwing the ball across the floor to Paul. Now, Paul got a good look. I believe he crossed. It might have been Turner or whoever was on him at the time. It's a nice crossover, clean look out of a step back, and misses it. But I just love that he was feeling good enough that it's like, heat check. Let's get Paul George the ball. Let's keep him going. The other thing that was really critical to me in that game was in the fourth quarter, start of the fourth, when he did play those minutes, and we were wondering, is he going to play 12 straight to end the game? He did not end up doing that. But as they struggled against the zone throughout the game, he played the perfect hybrid role of he hit a corner 3 that was a big shot in an important moment in the game. But in the middle of that zone, he also made really good decisions. He had a mid-range jumper at an important crux of the game. And they really struggled with that zone, not because they didn't execute against it, but because they kept missing shots. Having Paul as a safe pair of hands in the middle, as a reliable shooter on the outside, made a massive difference in that fourth quarter. Gave Tyrese Maxey just enough runway where he's able to put on the finishing touches on that game. So awesome, awesome game for Paul George. I don't think we're going to get that version of him every night. But if you get the help defense, you get the rebounding, the secondary playmaking, he makes some shots, and he's someone that he's just been there before. He's seen all types of coverages, and so you move him around like a chess piece on the board. He's going to make a big difference for this team. I hope that he's in the lineup more regularly moving forward, and that he can get up to maybe like a 30-minute per game type of number. But super impressive night for him. That's as good as he's been as like a team performance in a year, probably since in the non-Hornets games, we'll say, because the Hornets are the one team last year that he just killed, and everybody else he struggled
games
against
the Knicks.
That's right. In the NBA Cup game, he had a very good game against them.
Yeah, I'll also point out the one that he missed too. You talk about the one he missed on that fadeaway. The dribble combination that he had where he took AJ Green and he had all kinds of, these were workout type of moves and got to the basket. Just didn't elevate to finish the layup the way that he needed to. But if you start to see those types of things coming back, seeing that type of play where you talk about the fadeaway, but he also had one where he did, as you laid out, hit a good fadeaway. When they were in that zone, he had a nice one from about 17 feet out where they couldn't figure it out with some of the other players in the middle of that zone. They put him in there, and he knocks one down immediately in that second half from that very same spot. But to see him out there looking like the Paul George that we talk about a lot, of where he can help this team the most, where he can be a versatile player that can help on the offensive end, scoring the basketball, passing the basketball, like we also saw tonight, and then being just disruptive on the defensive end. He may not have the foot quickness and the speed that he used to, but even at the age of 35, he can move his feet really well. He can beat guys to the spot, and his hands are still really active, and he doesn't commit many fouls out there. He may commit one or two by sticking his hand in the cookie jar every now and then, but for the most part, when he guesses right. And that's what you want to see from Paul George with that activity. And tonight it was a 25-minute night for him in terms of the run that he had. When we discussed it before the season of, hey, man, if you can keep those minutes for both he and Embiid under 30, right around that 28 to 30, sometimes you have to extend it to 32, depending on how the game goes, maybe a little bit longer. But if you can do this consistently with a 25-minute night, but again, based on the game, push it a little more. But if they're consistently out there giving you those types of minutes, Kyle, I would guess that you won't have to play them more because they'll have bigger leads where it's no longer a problem of having to force them out there for those 30-plus minute nights. And when you see him doing the type of stuff that he did tonight, being a really good second guy to Tyrese Maxey, and this is when he has to come out of the game after a 5-6 minute run. Imagine when he doesn't have to do that and Nick Nurse can keep him in there in the lineup. So nice run from Paul George tonight. Really good balance of a game. And as you talk about, he mentioned it, and the same thing for Jared McCain, trying to get that rhythm in those short stints. He got it. And once he got it, it didn't matter when he came back, because when he came back into the game, he looked the same. And that's just the confidence. That's just believing in your knee, believing in the work that you've already put in, all the effort that you've done to get back on the floor despite the injuries, to play through that stuff, to believe in yourself once again, that when you are out there, the knee is just, it's there. It's going to hurt sometimes, but for the most part, it's not going to stop me from being me and making the plays that I know I can make out there to help the basketball team. And that's exactly what you saw from Paul George tonight.
And it's a great point, because I think what that one spin move that you talked about showed was he's not thinking.
That was instinctive.
That's a basketball player who's played hundreds of NBA games, tons of playoff games, college, high school, is just out there reading the floor and like, that's my path to getting to the rim. That's not a guy who, we saw Joel Embiid go through this last year, where he played very mechanically. It was a lot of like, I don't want to plant that way because that's where I'm feeling pain. That's where I know I have a trouble spot. I think the best sign for Paul George right now, there really is none of that rigidity for him. He's just out there playing smooth the way he always has on offense. Great intelligence and instincts on the other end of the floor. If I was going to nitpick a little bit, I want him to get a couple more rebounds, probably chip in on that end of the floor. But ultimately, it's hard to be upset with basically anything he did tonight. So he's hot. He's heating up.
He's heating up. He and Tyrese Maxey heating up tonight for the hour. Heating up, cooling off, temperature check segment, courtesy of our good friends from Ace Hardware. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Nice little Batman Robin little tag team thing going on there.
I wish there had been who are the other sidekicks in the Batman comics? There's Nightwing. I think that's
I don't even remember Nightwing.
Well, so I think that's, if I remember correctly, I think that's Robin. The original Robin leaves and like becomes his own guy. And then there's like a replacement Robin. Anyway, I'm not that deep in the Batman weeds. Right. So maybe it's Nightwing, or like Commissioner Gordon is one of these other guys. I don't know. But anyway, yes, Batman and Robin were out there tonight. And normally that's Tyrese and Joel, who have a more fluid and natural partnership because they run the actions together. This kind of existed as like Paul cooked, and then Maxey cooked, and then Paul cooked. So it was a little bit of a dueling banjos thing. But it's nice to just have guys that they can take a stretch of the game and score 10, 15 straight points. And you're like, oh, there's a few of those guys on this roster. Nice little luxury to have.
Can get it done. By the way, Joel on the bench tonight made the trip to Milwaukee.
Good for him.
Second night of a back-to-back.
Wish he was out on the floor. And I got to tell you, that's one of the things that when I say, got to get Tyrese more help. It is one of the disappointing notes that I think about during the game. It's like, if they could just get this guy out there on a regular basis, they got a lot of stuff on this team. They have a guy who's playing at an all-NBA level, leading this team to a 9-6 record in spite of all this injury stuff that's going on. They have a rookie who had a ton of struggles that we'll talk about tonight, who has overperformed probably rookie expectations. So McCain has started coming into his own tonight. He had some moves we'll talk about. Joel, in the last game he actually played with these guys, looked great. It was one of their best team performances of the entire season, probably. But yet it's every game. It's like one guy comes in, one guy's out. Next guy comes in, next guy goes out. And it's just hard to build something sustainable that way. It does make what Tyrese is doing that much more impressive, that it is a little bit of musical chairs and what is it going to be every day? And he still is finding ways every night to score 30, 35, tonight 54. That's hard to do. It's hard for the coaching staff to set up that way. It's hard for the role players to get in their proper lanes. But Tyrese Maxey, boy, he is hooping right now.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Fantastic performance. Maybe we'll see Joel Embiid Sunday afternoon for the 1 o'clock game against the Miami Heat as they host the Heat on Monday, 1 o'clock in South Philadelphia. Of course, we'll be here at 12:30 for the pregame
Kids Day
coverage.
at the arena.
Kids Day at the arena. Get ready. And then you can figure out how you're going to watch the Birds take on the Cowboys right after that game as well. All right, when we come back, we keep it going, talk a little bit more about Edgecombe, McCain, Grimes.
Maybe a little Barlow. Playing a lot of center minutes
Yes,
tonight.
he did. Yes, he did. We got a lot to talk about here tonight. Sixers win in overtime, 123-114, 9-6 on the season. Tyrese Maxey, new career high, 54 points. He was fantastic. We'll talk about so much more right here. Postgame, right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. Oh, man, and hey, I was, get a little tired, get a little fatigued after a game like that. You got to get checked out. So you know what?
Need some caffeine.
And then I go to Rothman. Too. And then you go to Rothman Orthopedics to get those little bumps and bruises taken care of. Get rid of that fatigue. You are excited, bouncing around the house, bouncing around the living room, making too much noise. Your significant other through the telephone at you, telling you to sit down because you woke up the kids. But you got to go to Rothman. Because you got to get that checked out. Whether it's joint pain or injury and that disrupts your routine, the right care shouldn't be a hassle. Rothman Orthopedics, they make it easy with convenient offices, locations throughout the region, plus walk-in and urgent care centers when you need help fast. Whether it's a new injury or something that's been bothering you for quite some time, expert orthopedic care is just around the corner. Just schedule your appointment today at rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Rothman Orthopedics. My mobility, your mobility, their mission.
No, I'm feeling a little bad about making fun of Rich and his setup earlier. I think the next time I go over Rich's place, I'll bring him some crooked tea.
All right.
Because, I've been in his refrigerator and I'm seeing he's had other hard teas in there in the past.
Right.
I've had to talk with him and say, Rich, you see, they don't show you what's in the can there because they're embarrassed of it. They don't want to tell you what's in it. But at Crooked Tea, they brag about what's inside. Crooked Tea brews real USDA organic tea for real flavor with zero sugar, no fake junk, hiding behind the label. What you see is what you drink. So, Rich, the next time you're at the store, I want you to flip the can, and everybody else for that matter. Flip that can. If you can't find the ingredients on it, put it back. Then grab a Crooked Tea, zero sugar, real tea, fully transparent. Real recognizes real in Philly, so do not drink the fake stuff. Crooked Tea, the only thing better is a strip sack in the Super Bowl. Visit crookedtea.com to find it in a store near you.
And we're back here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. Infighting with the team here. Bad service. Got to get some Crooked Tea to help out. It's all love.
It's my peace offering.
Yes.
I got to make sure he's drinking the good stuff.
Absolutely. You gotta look out for him. Flip that can, as Gene says there in the chat. By the way, everybody, hit that like button while you're in here hanging out with us on this Thursday night. We appreciate you.
Hit the like for Tyrese Maxey, baby.
Absolutely. 54. Hit that 54 more times, everybody, and let everybody else know to hit that like button, like and subscribe.
Constantine in the chat. Rich drinking an inferior hard tea and he can't get the game on. That's tough stuff.
Tough stuff.
Sorry, Rich. I love Rich. We're all very close around here, but he's fired some shots. He's gonna start it. I will try to finish it. That's kind of my thing.
All right, let's start off with this next segment discussing a little bit of some of the young guards with VJ Edgecombe and Jared McCain. Let's start off with Jared McCain. His 2 straight games, back-to-back nights where we've seen some better.
He's had flashes.
Yeah.
He still ended up 2 for 7 from 3. I will say he got a lot of clean looks. Those are shots I know he'll take. Yes. I know Nick Nurse is probably happy.
Not only
the zone offense tonight, like there were a lot of people in Discord, on Twitter, other social platforms, people are texting me, why can't they score against the zone? And I had to be like, there are some nights where you say they're not running zone offense. There were a couple plays where guys didn't get to the middle and they're going side to side too much. But a lot of that game was just, they're missing wide open threes. And Jared was one of those guys. Justin was one of those guys. Quentin was one of those guys. The most encouraging moment of the night for me with Jared McCain was the power drive to the basket, where that was the first time it felt like he had a little bit of explosiveness going downhill. He is never going to he's not an above the rim athlete. He's not someone who's blowing by people regularly, but him putting it on the floor, getting to where he needed to go and hitting that shot at the rim, that was as important to me as anything we saw in his game tonight, because over time, he's going to adjust to the knee and the brace, the thumb issue that he's dealing with. That's going to fade. I fully believe in his track record as a shooter, and that comes back to the forefront. But did he lose any little bit of explosiveness because of the knee issue? Like, I think people hear meniscus and they're like, well, that's one of the less serious ones. It's not an ACL. It's the 6-month recovery meniscus surgery, though. And so I think people have to think of it that way and say, this will take time. We do have to wait and see, what is he going to be like as an athlete? I think as we wait for him to get up to speed, find his timing, find his rhythm as a shooter, those moments where he feels confident enough, again, coming back to playing without thinking, playing just your instinct in basketball, for Jared to feel confident and comfortable enough to just drive into traffic and score, I thought that was a big milestone for him tonight. And I hope that he looks back on that and says, all right, I'm 1% closer to who I was last year and who I am as a player.
What we saw in the first few games, I think it was the first 4, there was a hesitation in taking that deep shot that he took tonight. And again, 2 for 7 overall from behind the 3-point line, 3 for 8 from the floor, with that sweet finish that Kyle talked about and Bria's showing us right now in transition. He wasn't taking those before. He's starting to feel more comfortable getting that confidence. He saw the one fall last night. His first one fell tonight. He needed a little luck with the bounce at the end of the first quarter, but it dropped. And you get a smile on your face. You feel good. Your teammates are trusting you. That's why they're giving you the ball that late in the clock to shoot that. And he did. And he took some deep chances on those threes, and that's what we are accustomed to seeing from Jared McCain, make and miss. But there are some deep looks that we know, as Kyle pointed out, Nurse has him out there to take them. He's out there to take them, make or miss. He's going to make more of those as the season goes along. So that's what was encouraging to me. Yes, I wanted to see them fall, but it was that he took those, and then he had that move to the basket. And the other thing for me, too, defensively, where we have praised him for his defense and his activity and moving side to side, pivoting, all those things that we have seen from him defensively, even tonight, where he got beat off the dribble a few times from Ryan Rouse, where he had some nice combination moves, some dribbles, where he shook him. But what I didn't see him do, as Kyle was talking about the knee brace and the mental part, I didn't see him grabbing at his knee. I didn't see him adjusting whatever brace he has on his knee. He just played. And that, for me, again, just bringing myself into the injury part of it, that is something that when you get past that and you're not constantly tugging at that brace to pull it back up and adjusting it, or you know how you turn the basketball over and you look at your hands and you wipe your hands on your shirt and all that stuff because you're trying to, I turned the ball over, my hands were wet, right?
I've seen a lot of those.
You've seen a lot of those.
I've committed a few of those myself.
Right.
We can all be honest about it.
But you also do that when you are fighting that battle of that knee brace of, let me adjust it again, even though I know that wasn't the problem. That is, again, for me, making the shots are certainly more important, but just a slightly underneath there in terms of importance is that mental piece of I seen the ball go through. I know I've moved side to side well on my own dribbles, and also defensively, and my teammates and my coaches are still trusting me because now Jared McCain tonight, he played 12 minutes and 39 seconds. Just a few games ago, we were talking about that 5-minute stint of, man, maybe you just need to send him down to the G League and let him get to work.
Yeah.
Now we've seen 2 consecutive performances on back-to-back nights where he's made shots and he's also looked a lot better movement-wise on that knee. So really encouraging stuff from Jared McCain tonight and even on
And by the way,
Wednesday.
they won his minutes that he played tonight. And that has been there's been a push-pull where on the one hand, they got to get him time. He's got to play for conditioning. He's got to play because they need to develop him. But then you're Nick Nurse and you're the Sixers as an organization and you say, well, he hasn't fit all that well into the 3-guard looks. We're losing those minutes pretty handily. We haven't figured out a rhythm where we can get him in the game and still succeed as a team. And I don't know ultimately what it looks like for Jared's ideal game and the Sixers' ideal game to merge into one idea. But we got closer to that tonight, and that's real progress. That's something they have to figure out in the weeks to come.
And those shots are going to look so much easier when Joel Embiid is out there on the floor with him. Paul George is back and being Paul George, and also in the games that whatever amount of games there are for Joel Embiid, whenever he's out there and Jared McCain on the floor, that spacing and the looks that he is going to get, they're going to be so much better with the big fella out there on the floor as well. All right, we come back. Let's talk about VJ Edgecombe, Dominick Barlow as well, and we got to get to Andre Drummond, foul trouble.
And Justin Edwards. Justin Edwards was one of we talked about him, unsung hero of the game in spite of the 1 for 7 from 3.
And I got to get Kyle's thoughts on Trendon Watford tonight, everybody. Make sure you stick around with us. 123-114 win for the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey, he went off. He went nuts tonight with a career-high 54 points. We're breaking it all down here on this Thursday night right here on the PHLY Sixers postgame show. And gang, hey, holidays, right? Thanksgiving's coming up. A lot of back and forth to this relative's house, that relative's house, your friend's house. You need some trustworthy wheels. And I got the right place for you, everybody. And that is our good people from Cherry Hill Kia. All right? You're looking for the dealership with the most inventory, super low lease payments in the Philadelphia area. Kia of CherryHill.com is the place to go. You choose from over 450 new Kias, including Telluride, Sportages, K5s, Carnivals, Salto Souls, and much, much more at Kia of Cherry Hill. Pick out the gas. Sipping Kia of your dreams with payments anyone can afford. I got to tell you, Kia is the hottest brand in the automotive industry today. 7 of their models received 2025 Car and Driver Editor's Choice Awards. Kia of Cherry Hill has over 100 brand new Kias, and with MSRPs under $30,000, over 400 new Kias to choose from, all of which come with the best powertrain warranty in the automotive business. So once again, drive home in your new Kia today. I know people buy Kias elsewhere, Kyle.
I just don't know why, Devon.
Lock into your savings just minutes from all bridges or available online 24/7 at KiaofCherryHill.com.
All right, everybody, I've been a little mean to Rich tonight, so I'm thinking, what can I do to make this up to Rich for making him my punching bag during our discussion of our wonderful partners around here? I'm looking at the Game Time app, and I see, 1 o'clock matinee game against the Miami Heat, little appetizer for Eagles-Cowboys later in the game. I can get Rich in the building for just $25 because I use the Game Time app. I know it's the #1 place to get tickets to all the local events or even international events. If you feel like traveling too, going around the country, going around the world, you can look on Game Time and find the best deals. You get zone deals. So you can just pick a general area you want to be in, and you'll get a discount on those tickets because Game Time will choose the seats for you. You get panoramic seat views. So Rich, I'll make sure it's not obstructed view when I buy these tickets for you. I'll make sure that you have the best possible view of Sixers Heat, of Kids Day at the arena on Sunday. And of course, the lowest price guarantee, because Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you can find a better deal elsewhere, but you can't. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code PHLY for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it, Devon?
Game time.
Woo!
Welcome back here on the PHLY Sixers post-game show, where Tyrese Maxey saved the night for the Sixers.
Yes, he did.
54 points on the night. Is there, let me ask you this. We've talked about the MVP conversation with him. Should he be in the top 5? This was about a week and some change ago. I ask you now, after tonight, and not just tonight, but just the last week that he's really had, where he stays right there with that, right around that. He's second in the league in 32 points per game. You said after tonight he's back up to that 33 because he went off of 54. Is Tyrese Maxey, do you believe that he should be in the MVP hunt through 15 games? Or at least, is he top 5, top 7, top 10? Where do you have him?
Top 10 for sure for me. I think top 5 is pretty hard to crack because you look at the 15-1 Thunder. Shea is on a mission yet again. Jokic is going absolutely crazy. They're 11-3. Luka going crazy. He's been without LeBron, and he's still putting up. Now LeBron is back, but he's put up monster numbers in the Western Conference. Wemby doing it on both ends. Cade Cunningham, I think, is a guy you have to consider. Pistons are 13-2. They're on a long win streak. He's putting up great numbers. But once you get past that group, I mean, he's right there. And I don't even want to say once you get past that group, I think he is worthy of being talked about as part of the story of the season. Because to me, that's what the MVP award has historically been about. It is not just the here's the best player in the league award, right? Because if that was the case, Michael Jordan might have won 10 or 15 MVPs. LeBron James probably in the same category. Kobe Bryant would have won more MVPs than he had won during his career. That's not how it is. It's what player is how can we tell the story of the season without this guy? And you match that with who's putting up the best production, whose team is winning games. You kind of mix that all together. He is absolutely one of the standout stars of this year. He's putting up crazy numbers. His team is 9-6. That's very good considering all the outside context. So while I don't think he's in the top 5 right now, he should be in this conversation. It's why I brought him up when I asked you guys that question, 5 games ago after the 10-game mark? And if he keeps playing at this pace and they continue to win games with him as the featured player, he will absolutely deserve to stay in this conversation. At minimum, all-NBA guy, and then we'll see what the ceiling is from there.
Absolutely. Tyrese Maxey, when we see that rookie ladder, the MVP ladder that drops at some point next week, I'd imagine he'll still be in there in terms of the conversation somewhere. VJ Edgecombe, we said we would get to him, talk about him a little bit more. Again, offensively, struggles a little bit, but he does a lot of things to help out tonight.
I didn't write much about him.
Three-pointer where he continues to do that.
Yes, and that brings me to I didn't write about him much in my recap because it's a lot of Maxey, PG. Good God, could they make an open three against zone, please? But I never thought 15 games into VJ Edgecombe's career, I was bullish on him as a shooter. I didn't think I'd be 15 games in and say, I trust him more as a shooter than as a layup guy. Because the shots, the confidence that he has in second halves, late in games, after the tough starts, I don't know where he finds it as a rookie and as a guy who, he's 5 for 14 tonight. He didn't shoot well from the field. But I believe in the shot, and I think he believes in the shot, and that's the most important thing. Unfortunately, the other side of it is he is playing, I think, like 20% too fast when he's inside the arc. There are a lot of moments where, again, I keep harping on this. One more dribble, one more step, collect yourself. He's so much faster than some of these guys. The worst one tonight, Devon, he smoked AJ Green. Just absolutely blows by him. He's at the rim by himself. All you got to do, gather yourself, rise up slowly, easy layup. And he tries to play too fast. He's leaning a little bit, and he takes an off-balance shot, and I think it hit side rim almost. It hits backboard side rim and comes out. And there are just too many of those moments right now. It's all about finding game speed. Some of that is going to be footwork based. He's going to have to add. He has Euro steps and slow steps and deceleration in his game, but he's got to utilize that more. He's got to learn how to time it and when to look for those opportunities to use it. You can see the potential. And to get double-digit rebounds, to pick up 3 assists, he's only got 1 turnover in that game, which second half of back-to-back playing 38 minutes, third game of 4 nights. That's really important for a rookie. Night. Yeah. He bounces back in that department tonight where he takes care of the basketball. All those are very good things. He made some of those rebounds were tough, contested, and important rebounds. So you value all that stuff. But he has to get better at the rim. He has to get better at the rim because he's too good of an athlete to be as bad as he is finishing and scoring from around 10 feet and inward right now. We also had a moment, Devon, that you and I talked about during the game tonight. There was a play where you could almost see the athleticism work against him. There's an offensive rebounding opportunity, and I think he initially thought, I have a putback chance. Yep. And he ends up halfway through the air before he sees, oh, no, it's not bouncing that way. And it should have been, at minimum, a clean offensive rebound, and it just kind of bounces away and he's not able to get it. Those are plays that with more experience he's going to make more often. And you can see him getting into positions to make plays. But there's skill refinement that needs to be done. Some of this is just going to happen in the offseason. I think what people need to think about is, yes, he was a top 3 pick, but most top 3 picks are in situations where they don't need to win every night. They're playing on teams that are winning 20, 25 games for the year, and you're allowed to make mistakes all year. He's under a little bit more pressure. You got to live with the ups and downs. Year 2, year 3, VJ, we're going to put a lot more pressure on him to make these plays. Right now, we file it away and say, get in the gym with the guard whisperer in the summertime and the coaching staff and figure this stuff out. For now, just keep playing hard, keep shooting threes, and the rest will come to you.
And the crazy part, man, is that he spoiled us with the start that he's
had. 100%.
Because to your point, you said if we were 15 games in and we talked about VJ Edgecombe and what he has done, I mean, if we sat here at the beginning of the season and said he's averaging 16, 6, and 4 to start his
we would have
career,
been thrilled.
Thrilled. And that's what he's doing. And we're like, I'm disappointed. He only had 14 tonight with the way he looked, and he didn't do this and those types of plays that you lay out there. But he's just been a really, really good rookie. He got off to that quick start, and he just took the league by storm. He took us by storm. We had no idea that he was going to get off to that type of start. Where
how could you?
His first quarter, he scores 17 points against the Boston Celtics on the road in the Garden and goes for 34 in that opening night. He has since come back down to earth, but he's still playing some meaningful basketball. Nick Nurse says, despite the things that we see that are working against him, he can't have him sitting on the bench, though, because he's too important as a rookie to this basketball team, and that just goes to the testament of what he is, how hard he has worked, what he has done to get himself in this position, and he's also available. He's out there every night. So tough night again shooting. Little small things that he has to clean up. Those will be learned as the season continues to go along. 67 games to play. He'll figure that stuff out. And on that one play where you talked about where he was caught in the middle of thinking of what he wants to do in the air, his second jump is so quick. Just come down with the basketball. You'll get up. Your second jump will get you right back up there. You either lay it up, you get fouled,
or even if you can't,
maybe if it gets blocked,
look for the kick out. Like, he's smart enough and has good enough vision that if you just come down with that rebound, and somebody has closed the space, that's Maxey, Edwards, Grimes, whoever it is, find them.
Let's talk about Dominick Barlow a little bit too. A lot of center minutes. He and Jabari Walker, doing some of those center minutes more Dominick Barlow, but. While he just does whatever Nick Nurse asks of him. He just does whatever is required to be out there to help this team. He does it. Sometimes he's a little out of position, but he fights his way back into the play, and the ball, as we've talked about, just finds him, man. He just gravitates to the basketball with his work, his energy, and all. And even though the numbers don't stand out, there may not be a play that everybody just continues to think about that jumps out at the screen. He just continues to play a big role in this basketball team from the 3, the 4, all the way to the 5 when Andre Drummond gets in foul trouble.
No, like if he can't play those minutes tonight, they lose that game.
Yes,
There's no path to winning that. I even said to Devon, I half-heartedly was like, I think maybe you should play Paul George at center right now because I'm not exactly afraid of Miles Turner on the other end of the floor taking him down to the block. But Nurse turns to Barlow, played a little bit of Walker and him in the front court together. But I just think the combination of he's big enough that he can deter shots at the rim, but he moves well enough laterally that if you ask him to switch, if he has to step out on the perimeter, he can hang with guys. And even if he doesn't get the stop himself, I think what he's done a very good job at is he's not picking fouls up on those guys. And so if he has help behind him, that guy can then make a play. He had no fouls in almost 29 minutes tonight playing small ball center. That's really hard to do. We see guys who are natural 5s, who are 6'10", 7 feet tall, who have athletic gifts, and they're just swinging everywhere. I think his discipline is probably an under-discussed thing that has helped him get off to this start. He has 2 blocks tonight, both of which I think came in help situations where one of them, I believe, might have been Maxey, where somebody turned the corner and it looks like, hey, that's going to be a layup, and Barlow just comes out of nowhere and makes the play. So not an overwhelming box score game for him, but I think what he has done for me in this small stretch of time is prove like he can have a very good game without having his prints all over the box score because he's putting himself in the right positions. I had not seen him play with that level of instinct and feel on either end earlier in his career. And it's a credit to him that he's developed and he looks so at home at multiple positions and playing off these guys. He's been really, really good, even when the numbers are just like, 6 rebounds.
Yeah.
Couple of points.
That 6 rebounds, Breeze just showed a clip there where he crashed the offensive boards, found Tyrese Maxey at the top of the key. Tyrese Maxey knocks down the 3-pointer.
The head-up
his
passing
activity
has been very good.
Yeah, he's just a really good player, man, and a good find for them. We keep saying it. They only have, 50 games in total that you're allowed?
Yeah, so I will credit Sixers Adam Aronson on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Good covers at my old place, the Philly Voice. He's covering the Sixers. He has a tracker that he has been keeping track of before every game, the two-way guy. So let me check. I know he posted about this today. They have 44 games left of Dominick Barlow on the two-way.
So this was game 6. Okay.
Yeah. And that's one of the only benefits of losing Barlow in the second game is that they can push this a little deeper into the season where they're just using the two-way spot on him.
Walker has 15 games in the books. So he's played in all 15 games. So they're going to have to figure his situation out a lot sooner of what they're going to do.
But yeah, so Barlow, I think, is like a clear-cut rotation player. I think he's a clear-cut, should be on a standard contract. They don't need, there's no urgency on their behalf to do that right now.
Yeah.
But I think if you can get him on some kind of deal before this year is over, have him here for next season, maybe another year past that.
Yep.
I think that would be a big asset for this team because he just does a lot of the things they need from a 4 or 5 type hybrid player. He's been awesome.
I just saw a Villanova product, Robinson Earl, just got his contract converted to a standard with the Indiana Pacers.
Good for him.
So their situation is a little bit different than the Sixers, where they can do that. They're at the bottom of the Eastern Conference right now in the bottom 4. So they can just look at some players and see if they can develop them, get ready for next season when Tyrese Halliburton and the rest of those guys are healthier. But right now, 44 games left for Dominick Barlow until they figure out.
And Justin Edwards, I promise we'll talk about you in overtime, buddy.
Yes, we will. We go to overtime right now, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us on the television side. We're off Friday and Saturday. We're back Sunday for the pregame coverage. Sixers Heat, 12:30 pregame right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. For everyone else sticking with us tonight, head on over to allphly.com for the remainder of the show. Justin Edwards tonight, a weird game. Got the start, 31 minutes. some really good defensive plays. But, man, he couldn't hit a shot from behind the three-point line until he knocked down that corner three in overtime. Woo!
I think that's the best little things game I've ever seen Justin play. And I said to you during the game, without Nurse saying this outright, when he talked about Justin following the 22-point game against Boston, after the 22-point game, and he says, I love Justin. I've told him that I'm confident in him. I've been in touch with him when he struggled, that you're going to get through this. We believe in you as a shooter. We see the work you put in every day. What he has also implied is it's all the other stuff that they're concerned about, which mostly means you better defend or you're not going to play. And tonight, he comes out in the first half and plays some of the most inspired on-ball defense I think I've ever seen him play. Came up with a couple of rebounds, including one that he just blindsided Miles Turner and took it from him on a potential offensive rebound for Turner, that was great. And some drive and kick moments tonight. Some drive and drop off moments. He hit Andre Drummond on a little, I think he got a layup or got fouled on a dunk on it. Mm-hmm. So that was a really nice interior pass that we don't really see him make. Tyrese Maxey gets a corner three off of a drive to the paint that Justin collapses the defense. Maxey's open. I don't know how you collapse on Justin Edwards with how Tyrese Maxey was going, but credit to Justin for getting to his spot, finding Tyrese. And then after the horrendous shooting performance, deep in this game, you're in overtime. You're playing more minutes than you've been playing lately. He hits a huge three early in overtime, adds another stop and pop mid-range jumper that was a critical basket in that overtime session. So it's one of those where you look at it and you're like, man, you're talking about a guy who shot 1 for 7 from 3 and 3 for 10 from the field. But I thought all the other stuff, which is critical to him carving out a real role on this team, was very good tonight.
Give him a lot of credit for that three that Brian's showing right now in overtime, because the last one he shot right before that one was a bad one over 2 defenders from the wing, not in the corner, from the wing, and he bricked it. It was bad. It didn't touch rim. It just hit side backboard, and you could hear it on the television because we have, of course, the great Xfinity in here.
Oh, yeah.
And we had no
crystal
issues.
Clear 4K and audio, unlike Rich Hoffman.
No doubt about it. But that was a brick. But for him to line that one up in overtime, where they, quite frankly, are in the extra 5 minutes of a game, and he lined that up after missing 6 consecutive threes, I give him credit, too, for the muscle memory of letting the other 6 go and just doing what he knows he can do, which is knock down an outside shot, an open shot as well, where they needed it most. And that was the first 3 points, I believe it was, for that overtime, because it few possessions already, and they're like, is anybody going to make a shot? And Justin Edwards was the one who made it. But his defense, man, because I think back to his high school days and looking at him in Kentucky, and even in his first year in the NBA with the Sixers, I didn't see that. We talked about him as a 3-and-D player, but we didn't see the defense enough to really lay that at his feet as a 3-and-D real defensive player. And then when Kelly Oubre goes out, we're like, yeah, he can play those minutes, but he can't live up to any defensive role because we don't know how consistent that's going to be. If he does this is what we talk about a lot. You hear a lot of players discuss when they really do buy into the NBA. You're no longer that star from high school. You're not the star from college. You have to carve out your role in the NBA. This is the carving out of the role in the NBA. Knock down your outside shots and become a reliable defender, a trustworthy defender that your coach is going to believe they can put you out there and you're going to give the maximum effort. And he got the start. He got the start over Trendon Watford tonight in that role because of what he was going to be asked to do. And he passed that defensive test. The shots will fall. This is what he's, as Kyle pointed out, this is what's going to keep him on the floor. It's that defense. Mm-hmm. If he can now turn into a plus defender with Oubre and George and Grimes as a two-way type of guy, imagine those lineups where you can go a little smaller with a big 5 there of Drummond or Embiid, whoever it might be, sometimes Barlow, maybe Bona in some certain minutes. That's a really good plus. That's a win for the Sixers, and finding out that you have a two-way type of wing in Justin Edwards in that role. Good stuff.
Hit shots, play hard. That's his only job.
And look, he plucked Brandon Ingram twice on Wednesday night. And I mean, on an island by himself against an all-star level wing, plucked him. Couldn't get by him. And look, Brandon Ingram is still Brandon Ingram. He's going to give you 24 and lead the Raptors in scoring because that's how good he is. But that's some good defense from a guy who, again, is not expected to be that type of player. So whatever he has figured out from high school to college to the 1 year, now his second year in the league, where he has the confidence to go on an island against somebody with a lot of space out there and you can defend in that way, hats off to him for improving and developing into a much better defender. That I wasn't quite sure that I honestly had that in him.
Not after the summer, not after preseason. I was pretty down on Justin. I was wondering, it was getting real dark. You think like sometimes you just don't have that long to actually prove yourself in this spot. And they had put at least a decent amount of responsibility on him in the summer. Like he was going to have to be a real rotation guy for them early, and it didn't look like he could be. He has bounced back a little bit. But please make some open threes, Justin, because those were between him, McCain, and Grimes, who he was 3 for 9, hit a huge three late in that game.
Top of the key.
So the theme here kind of is all those guys are going to have to make more shots. The Bucks shot the lights out for long stretches of that game. Didn't end up shooting all that well. It was 39% from three. It felt like they shot 59% from three for a portion of that game. So Justin, Quentin, Jared, get some extra shots up on Saturday at practice. and let's do a little bit better on Sunday, boys.
No question about it. Music Lover says, I'm still down on Justin Edwards, to be honest, LOL. Well, he's got to prove it to you. And look, it's fair, but at least you call him, you give him his props when he has a good game, and tonight he did. All right, as we close this one out, it's been a late night. It's been a long week. Kyle, you got to get to it.
Oh, no.
Haiku.
I almost missed a haiku from my guy, Skunk Riley.
Yes.
All right. Skunk Riley says, this haiku is titled, Our Tyrese.
Okay.
Silver dawn unwraps. A young star climbs the dark sky. New light learns to burn. That's beautiful, Skunk.
I like it.
You submit that at like a poetry slam instead of the PHLY Sixers show. But
right. They give you
we always appreciate you coming through, Skunk, just like we appreciate everybody else.
They give you a gift card for those things.
Hey, by the way, Smoggy said, lob check, Devon.
Bree, we got to check the lob counter for tonight.
2.
Count them. Oh, man. Paul George's lob to VJ Edgecombe first in transition. Same side of the floor lob is not easy to do. It's best on the angle, of course, weak side. Throw that lob. Defense is a little off balance trying to figure out how to defend that. Paul George with that perfect lob, that's what he brings to the game. And then Tyrese Maxey, another. Throw it up there, man. Throw it up there. Tyrese Maxey to VJ Edgecombe for another finish. Just two tremendous lobs there tonight. Appreciate you asking, Smoggy, for that one. Lob counter up to 2 tonight for the Philadelphia 76ers. We need more because we saw like 2 more, and I'm like, throw it. Throw it. Just throw
Anytime VJ is running towards the basket, I'm in favor of just let him go up and try to dunk.
I thought Maxey,
mostly because I don't want to watch him take any layups right now, but also because I want to see him dunk.
I also thought Maxey had Edwards on one too. He just didn't throw it. Fair. Didn't trust it. Maybe it was the angle. But yes. Thank you, Smoggy. 2 lobs on the lob counter tonight. Thank you, Bree, as well, for the graphic. All right. Trendon Watford, you're off the hook. We'll catch up with you.
You were bad, and I didn't want to see you play basketball tonight, but Nick Nurse apparently disagreed. So congratulations to you.
You can redeem yourself against the Heat.
Yes, and he's had other good games, so don't need to belabor the point.
So, programming note for us. We got to let you know we're off both Friday and Saturday. We'll be back on Sunday for a 12:30 start time for the pregame show where we are set for the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. Will we see Joel Embiid? I hope so. Tyrese Maxey, hot hand, continue against the Miami Heat. Miami's pretty good, so you got to bring your A game against that group. It's not going to be easy on Sunday afternoon. So off Saturday and Sunday. Friday and Saturday, everybody. We look forward to joining you once again on Sunday. And Miami currently still sits tied right now with the Sixers, who jump all the way up to 6th place in the Eastern Conference standings. after tonight's win. Miami, 9-6, right there in front of the 76ers. They have the Bulls tonight. It's now Friday. So they have the Bulls tonight.
Whole new day.
Whole new day. We'll see how it plays out. Bulls and
you guys stayed with us to a whole new day. Look at that.
We love you guys for that. It's time for the world famous. Gene already called for it, so let's get to it. It's the roll call.
Gotta hit those roll
call
Tyrese
emojis
Maxey in the chat. Yeah, speaking of Tyrese Maxey, two very quick notes before a roll call. Tyrese Maxey became only the second player in Sixers history to score 50-plus points and get 9 assists. The other guy,
what a night,
Wilt Chamberlain. Pretty good at basketball. I'm sure he did it like 70 times, but not taking anything away from Tyrese.
Come on, Tyrese.
It's a great honor.
You're slacking.
He got his first. You got to start somewhere.
Got to catch up.
He's got a long road ahead of him.
Yes,
so
he does.
He can catch up eventually. So there's that. And then Janai Broome was assigned to the Delaware Bluecoats, so he is going to get some time.
Get some work in
the G League.
See you on Sunday.
Probably not.
Maybe not.
We'll see him on the bench.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we're not. Okay. If you mean that, then yes, I agree. Anyway, thank you everyone for being here past midnight on a school night. Is it still a school night when it's Friday the next day? It's kind of debatable to me.
Let them stay home.
College students, I don't know if it's a school night.
Let them stay home.
School night for the parents, but I think the parents went to bed. So
start your weekend early, holidays, all that stuff.
Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to Rick Morse, Mom's grandchildren. What's up to Mom? The super chat from Skunk Riley, the haiku king himself. Thank you, Skunk.
What up, Skunk?
Thank you to Smy Guy. Thank you to Densley. Another Chamberlain.
Live counter.
This one's Edward Chamberlain. Hello, Edward.
What up, Ed?
Hello to Prophet One, to Sir Shmooey, to Rodem, to X-Man, Simmy B, Phil W, PHLY guy, veteran of the psychic wars. Between and unseen. That's I'm not even going to touch that
overtime.
One. I don't want to get in trouble.
It's late night.
Fusion, Marcus Blackstock, Constantine, Rich P, Art, Marty Bones.
What up, Rich?
Jack Reacher, Randy, Coleman Potts. You better love somebody. You know who else I saw in here tonight? Derek Bodner, that damn slacker.
Look at Derek.
Still showed up for the homies, said hello. Hello to Derek. Hope you had a good night off. Sean Comp, M. John, 307, D. Reddick. Our guy Al, the 2-minute warning.
What up, Al?
Reardon, my girl Nona, Hedfa, Jess.
Hey, Nona. Hey, ladies.
Rayson, Lost Sleep TV, I, Gavini J. to Jungle, Mark Jackson, Kyle Wright, Eugene Ross. Axe Monkey is in here with what looks like a Bulbasaur avatar in there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Made it in time for the roll call, though.
So not only did Axe Monkey get a shout out for their name, they got a shout out for the Bulbasaur. Shout out to Bulbasaur, although
what up, Axe?
Team Squirtle over here, Squirtle Squad forever. So however you guys want to debate that in the chat, go ahead. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Even if I didn't say your name, it's not because I don't love you. It's just because YouTube switched the chat names again, and it's really fucking with my brain.
It's really difficult.
It just gets a lot harder when it's the ats instead of your chosen display name. But I'll take that up with, I'm going to call Mr. Google himself and see what he can do about this. Guys, please, we're not even at 100 likes, and there are way more than you in here than that. So please, on our way out and your way out, hit that thumbs up button for us. It will help me sleep at night. It'll make Devon feel good. It is a thank you to the most important president of basketball operations in town. That's Bree on the other side, making it happen. The graphics, the lob counter. She fixes the record counter behind us there. You see the 9 and 6 behind Devon. There's so many things she does every day for us that you guys don't see, but we see and we appreciate. So hit those damn thumbs ups for her, if for no other reason, as Devon waves the foam finger like some kind of whack job. Thank you, Devon. Thank you to Bree. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you to Tyrese Maxey.
Thank you, Tyrese Maxey, for 54 big ones. On the way out, too, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you get notifications. Every time our show goes live, every time we push out new videos, new stuff, interviews with Tim Legler, for example.
Go catch it.
You'll be on the inside track. It helps us out. It helps you out. Provides you with some entertainment. Until Sunday, enjoy your weekends. Stay safe. Take care of one another. Goodbye.
Thanks for the 100, everybody.
We all silly like the mayor.